Next up, John says, you've worked with so many future legends early in their careers. What qualities did you see in guys like Steve Austin or The Undertaker that told you they'd become stars?
Just a feeling, because both of them were loners too. They didn't have a lot of friends other than me. And I kind of tell them that they were going to go a long way and make wise decisions on their way. And of course, I couldn't invent Undertaker's 6'8" frame or 6'9", and I couldn't invent Stone Cold Steve Austin being what he was going to be. But I wasn't the only one who saw it, because they went in other places. And I think Undertaker went to Atlanta, but he didn't do anything. Nothing. They had him as, I think, his real name, Mark Calloway.
Mean Mark Callis, he was.
Yeah, that's what it was. But he didn't really do that, not enough to really be remembered. And his whole success can be boiled down to one guy, Vince McMahon. Vince McMahon looked at him and he says, well, he's just a tall guy. But he said, I need to make him different. And I don't know if The Undertaker, we talked about this on our last show, I don't know if The Undertaker was Vince's idea or a creative person's idea. Doesn't matter. Once Vince had it, it was his idea. And then they put the pallbearer with him and the urn, and away they went. And that lasted like 20 years or more. 25 years, didn't it? How long has he been in WWE?
35 now. I mean, he retired a few years ago, but yeah. He went in 1990.
Well, the gimmick they put him with, he did a great job with, and the people remember him by that, and he's done very well with it.
You ever got that feeling about somebody, and I don't know if you'd ever say that you've mentored anybody, because I'm sure, you know, when The Undertaker or Steve Austin or Kane or even Ultimate Warrior, I think he mentioned you in his Hall of Fame speech, didn't he?
Yeah.
Like, I thought he did, he?
Yeah, he did.
All right, good. You know, all these people always mention you early on in the careers, and he's usually in good terms as well, which is good. But have you ever got that feeling where, you know, you put in a lot of time into somebody you were absolutely sure they were going to be a star, and then just for whatever reason it never happened?
Not really, because I felt it with Sting and Ultimate Warrior. I could see them being stars because the wrestling business wasn't being inundated at that time by guys like that. They were from California, and I just helped them along. I mean, most of their success I will give to them, because they did all the work and they did all the pushing themselves that they could possibly do. But I managed them one time and I helped them out a little bit, got them on their way, but they couldn't live. They couldn't eat on what Memphis was paying them. So they left, and I think Sting went to Oklahoma, which was probably the best thing that he could have done, because Bill Watts saw him, Eddie Gilbert saw him, and they got behind him and made him a star. I think Ultimate Warrior went to Texas. That's where Vince saw him, I think, brought him to New York. But yeah, I knew those guys would, but I saw Sting more than I saw Ultimate Warrior, because Sting had more natural talent than Ultimate Warrior did. Ultimate Warrior was just a weightlifter and was stiff. And, you know, most of the bodybuilders aren't good to work with because they're posing all the time and they're stiff. You know, they just never relaxed. But Sting would relax, and I could see that, you know, he would go a long way. And he had a gimmick. I forgot what he called himself then, what they called themselves. They had some name, and I changed the name.
Oh, it was Power Team USA or something, and then it went to the Blade Runners, I think.
No, they were the Blade Runners. Did not give them that name off the movie, because the the first power team, it doesn't roll. You don't associate, but Blade Runners is a little different. It was like in the future, and they look a little bit futuristic at the time. So that took off.